Hello, Tami here, co-founder, co-creator of Rise Gatherings, getting ready to welcome one of my favorite people. Stay tuned, you'll find out who it is. I am having a good day so far. I hope that yours is as well. And, oh, she's here already. She's so speedy. Hey, everybody who's joining, stay tuned. Oh, hi, Diamond.
Hooray, I'm on it.
That was speedy. Hooray.
Oh, you can only just barely see my little lady. I'm gonna move over a little bit. There we go. Now you can see
I
her.
like your little lady's outfit.
Thanks. Her name is Lola. She came to me from a boudoir photographer. She has one inverted nipple and one that's not, which, by the way, totally normal, y'all. And she's wearing a lovely little bra and boy short today.
What did you call it, those shorts?
Boy
What kind?
short?
Boy short.
Yeah.
Those are cute.
Yeah, I think they're cotton haze, actually. They're just a real, like, you can get them at the grocery store type of underwear. I promise I have more sophisticated things too. Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
everybody. Hi, Joelle. Welcome, everybody. Well, you hopefully you can all feel the excitement. Let's introduce
Yeah,
ourselves and then we'll get talking.
who should go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so hi, everybody. My name is Kimmay from Hooray Kimmay. I spell Hooray Hurray. Theater nerd. It was hurrah, huzzah, hooray. That's why. And I am based in Philadelphia. I'm from New York. I spent 3 very strange years in Oklahoma. So if anyone's from Oklahoma, what's up? And then I came here to Philadelphia, but I'm really a New Yorker at heart. That's where my heart lies. But I'm an undergarment educator and coach. And basically, what that means is I have been a bra fitter since 2005. I have fit people for bras from double A to N cup, and now bras actually go up to an S cup, Tami. So just so y'all know, and but really, I just use bras as my best tool for self love, for self care, for self confidence, because bras are right over the heart. And this part of the body has so many stories and opportunities for us to provide ourselves support and kindness and understanding and compassion and empathy. So I have done photo shoots all over the world. I have a strong commitment to zero airbrushing, which I started when I was like 20 something, and now I'm 39. So that's been fascinating. And then also,
That's easier to do in your 20s, I
I,
would
you
say.
know, you want to know something
Or
though?
maybe not.
It's not to sidetrack myself. It was harder then. It was harder then
Oh.
because I didn't have that foundation of self-love. It was a big, braver thing to do. Even when that was size 2 and 22, it was actually more braver for me to do then. So I digress. We'll talk about that later.
No, put a pin in that.
Yeah,
And I
Pen.
misspoke then. I
So I've done
shouldn't
all
have.
these photo shoots. I also teach bra fitting. So I've taught in Paris and New York and LA. And now I have a program called the Fitters Formula. So I teach people how to fit with accuracy and empathy, because I think the way that we've been doing bra fittings for a long time has been so judgy and, this like withholding of information. And I'm like, wait a minute, what if we could make this a sacred ritual? What if we could make finding support for your bust right over your heart a really profound and beautiful and moving thing, and like go beyond the bra? What if we could do that? So that's what I do in my program, the Fitters Formula. I have tons of free resources for you if you are a bra wearer, over at my website, including classes and fit guides and all sorts of stuff, but also just like compassionate ways to talk to yourself and your body. So that's the gist about me. Tami, who are you?
Well, I am co-founder and co-creator of Rise Gatherings, retreat experiences for women. That is how you and I have met and had the joy of co-creating
Yeah,
multiple things together.
yeah.
And for anyone new to Rise Gatherings retreats are opportunities for us to step away from the mundane, from our day to day, to give care to ourselves and to remind us all that there are vast resources and allies and support available to all of us. We don't have to go at it alone. So
I love
we
that.
We are most known for our annual weekend getaway in the Pocono Mountains. In Kimmay, you have been there, I think, for five
I think
years.
last time was 6. Am I wrong? I know, I can't remember.
That's the
I
best.
I stopped counting, but yes, y'all, I have been a facilitator with Rise Gatherings for numerous years, and I just really love and support what Tammy and Rachel have created together, but then also like co-created with everyone there. They are really so gracious in allowing their facilitators to both create what works for them, but also to like stand shoulder to shoulder with everybody. And like one of my favorite things about facilitating is at Rise is like going to other people's workshops and doing the things like dancing and all sorts of stuff. If y'all have gone, if there's any risers here, y'all know I like to dance. So it's like nourishing for me. And last year I brought my mom, which was a big deal. I know, it was really great. So I just love and respect all that Rise does. And if you haven't gone to the weekend and you feel like, oh, that's a big deal, I will say they're hosting the May event coming up, which I'm one of 4 facilitators that will be providing, you know, an opportunity for transformation while there. And it's a 1 day, you know, kind of half a day almost commitment. So you can kind of dip a toe. And I think it's still going to be magical AF, but that weekend experience, y'all, that's like life altering. So highly, highly, highly recommend.
Thanks, Kimmay. Yes, on May 19th, we are having, for the first time, Rise
Mm,
Day. And this is something that people have really been asking us for. So we're very excited that it's happening. The weekend getaway, we realize, is a, a big thing to
yes.
go away for 2
Yeah.
nights. From all over North America, people come by train and plane and automobile. And Rise Day is in Philly, and it's a half day, but we have created it to be the magical ingredients, and magic, by that I mean
Right.
transformative, that we that people are celebrating from the weekend getaway. So that means Rachel and I will be kicking it off with some all group activities. We will seal it with a live DJ for anyone who wants to move a bit, but there'll also be other activities, a creative arts corner, some fun
Yes.
vendors. And then in the middle is the pillar, which is a 2-hour workshop. And just like at the weekend getaway, everyone who comes can choose the workshop that calls to them. It'll be the hardest part because all 4 workshops are incredible, and one of
Yeah,
them is yours.
but I love this because I truly feel like this gives people an opportunity to like lean into their intuition and see like what really like it's a profound question to ask yourself, what do I actually need right now? That right there alone is really, really big. And so when you go through that list of what people are offering and you like read through their offering, like there's like a little paragraph and then their bio, you know, do that with the lens of really vulnerably, honestly asking yourself, like, what do I really need right now? What will really serve me and the people around me? Because when you make change in your own life, it'll expand out to everybody around you for sure. The good news is there's no wrong answer. Like we could all benefit from all of these things. But the better news is you do have a choice. So you get to choose what you really want to step into.
Yeah.
So that is got goosebumps. I'm so excited for people. I think it's gonna be
So
great.
people can find it on our website, obviously, risegatherings.com. It's worth going just to see for your workshop your newest, most beautiful photos of you. I'm not going to talk about them. They have to go to the website to see. Not yet. Stay for the live. But then look at these most recent
Yeah.
photos because
Just
I,
behind the scenes too, y'all. So Rise does a great job of sending out little marketing stuff. So like, hey, you can invite people to this, which I get nothing if you sign up through me or anything. This is truly, I'm just inviting people because I want people to come and I think either you are going to benefit from it. But they sent a little picture that had like my, cool, cute bra fitter headshot from when I was like in London or something. And it was really cute. And they were like, hey, just want to know. And I was like, I have new pictures that I haven't shared yet. Would you be open? And the background behind these photos, by the way, y'all, is that I took them in Paris on my 11th trip to Paris. And it was such an act of self-love to take these pictures. And I hope it shows in the images. So yes, go over and see them. I think they're delicious, is the word I would use.
Yay. I'd like to hear why it was such an act of self love for you to take those pictures. So maybe if you want to start with that, your workshop at Rise
Yeah,
Day is titled Softening into Self-Love.
yeah,
So what is your workshop about?
yeah,
Why is this the workshop that you wanted to lead now?
yeah.
And then I have more questions after that.
Oh my gosh, I'm like, how much time do we have? We also, Tammy and I were like, we could talk forever, but I'll try to keep this short and simple because I want to make sure people understand the why behind this. So soften into self-love is the theme. And it's because I don't know about anyone here, and you can like give us a little wave or something if this is you, because it's so human of us. But I did not always talk to myself in a really kind way. And the thoughts that were going on in my head were quite judgmental, really super high standards that were like not actually attainable for humans, and really damaging in a way that, like, if I were talking to my best friend in that way, they would probably not be my friend anymore. They'd probably be like, this is really harsh and super frustrating. Like, I'm good here. Like, I don't want to be friends anymore. And so I noticed this first through how I was talking to my physical body. And as a bra fitter, when I was 20 years old, I turned 20 like a week before. Uh, I had never seen like other people's bodies, you know? And so that first week in New York City, of all places, of seeing a lot of different people's bodies really woke me up to, oh my gosh, I've been comparing my own body, and then, you know, as an extension of that, my own self, to these perfectly airbrushed images in magazines, which are completely false. And what am I doing? Like, this is what real bodies look like. And I saw other people and how they talk to themselves, and I thought, like, I mean, the bra fitting room is very intimate, right? You're in there literally in a small space, but also when you start disrobing in front of someone, everything comes out. Like, it's literally you're peeling back layers. So everything would come out, and people would just honestly look in the mirror and say these detrimental things to themselves. And I'm like, whoa, like, I never noticed that about you. So like, what a waste of time. And also like, what a harsh way to talk to yourself. So I realized I was doing that. And I thought, I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna change the way that I talk to myself. And it wasn't just this positive self-talk, which I tried first, of just like, I'm actually the best. I'm so beautiful. Because if we say things that we don't actually believe, it's not really an affirmation. Like, affirmations, which I think a lot of us have heard of before, affirmations are really affirming what you already know to be true, not convincing yourself of something you don't really believe. That's not how it works. So I had to really believe it first. And if I forgot, or if I, you know, realized like, oh man, I'm being a little harsher to myself today, you can use the affirmations to remind yourself of something you already know to be true. So I was the person that didn't wear shorts for 7 years. I was so ashamed of my body and my legs. And if y'all have seen my Instagram now, like, they're out there. Like, don't go now because you're on the live, but my body is out there now. And so these pictures and taking pictures and wearing and sharing supportive, beautiful products was an extension of my own gifts of being a bra fitter and a swimsuit fitter, but also an act of self-love for myself. Now, I want to be super duper clear. If you're working on updating your relationship and how you talk to yourself about your body, or anything else really, but specifically your body, you do not have to take pictures in less clothing and then publicly reveal them to people to prove that you love yourself, right? Like, you don't have to wear the skimpy bikini in public. Like, you don't have to do those things. That just was my personal act of fighting against this narrative that something was wrong or bad or shameful about my body. So that was my own personal journey. And I started with just bathing suits and like full coverage bathing suits, to be really fair. And now that's extended. And to be honest, it might swing the other way again. Like, I might be like, you know what? Actually sharing this with just like one person is kind of the jam these days. Like, I don't know. But in general, that taking pictures and committing to zero airbrushing, so going back to what we were talking about before, was one of the best ways that I practiced what I was preaching to other people. And I'll tell you, like, the first couple times, like, you get pictures back and like the people I was working with, the photographers I was working with, weren't like curating them and making them. So there was like every image in there of me making the worst, weirdest faces, standing in a weird way, you know, like just looking weird. And seeing that over and over again and normalizing it instead of glamorizing this like false narrative of what bodies are supposed to look like was extremely healing for me. And now I probably weigh, you know, 40 to 50 pounds more. I'm many years older. I've got lots of creases and cracks where I didn't before. I have so many quote unquote imperfections and, areas where I've grown and stretched. And so have I internally. Like that's what happens when we grow and evolve. And so I will say, like, there was another time, maybe post-pandemic, and so getting back to your second question about those pictures, where my body had really changed and I had to mourn this past body that I had. And it wasn't because I thought it was better. It was different. It was new. And I thought, God, I had such a beautiful wardrobe for this past one. Like, how do I dress this one? But also, I'm very aware that we live in a particular culture that values a certain type of body. Very aware. And mine wasn't matching that as much anymore. And I wasn't as young anymore. So, really allowing myself to just be who I was and where I was today was such a big practice that when I did that photo shoot, I told the photographer, I said, listen, usually I'm working with her on things where I'm wearing and sharing products. So I have to like make sure this looks good or make sure that looks great or make sure I'm standing up straight so that the cup looks smooth or whatever. So not necessarily like forced or anything, but definitely with it, conscious of like how I'm looking. And these, I was like, I want to let go and with abandon, like just be here in my body, celebrating having a body, like enjoy the freaking light in Paris and this gorgeousness that I've decorated myself in, and just enjoy being a woman. That's all I want. And she was like, I'm in. So I had like a custom bouquet made that was like so beautiful. And the florist was so kind and adorned myself in these delicious things and had this gorgeous set, which was, this flat in Paris that was beautiful. And just let myself be. And we talked about some of the shots, but honestly, it was more of like if I was just alone, enjoying myself in my own company and completely comfortable with who I am, what would that be like? And the good news was I didn't have to fake it. I was so there. I was so like, God, this just feels so good to just be myself. So that was a big step for me in like my new level of loving myself.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing all of that. I had like 10 comments in my head
I know, I'm sorry.
as you were
Go for
talking,
it.
but they're like 10 comments ago. So what is at the top of my heart after listening to you, I always think this when I'm with you, is I am so grateful that you are here untelling the untrue stories
Yeah.
that we all carry because we live in this world. And I was thinking about how when you started and you were 20 and you're talking about these images we all saw, that's multiplied exponentially the images that we see, and they're even more, you said airbrushed, like
Yeah.
airbrushing, come on, now we filter things and
Filtered.
we take
Yep.
100 pictures before we pick the
100%.
one. So it's a different time and you are still here,
Yeah.
even more strong in your convictions and being the one moving. I picture it like, you say it's like you're blowing against a windstorm, like you're one of the ones who is turning and blowing things in a different direction
I will
for
accept that
all bodies, all
with deep
genders, all
gratitude. Oh
people.
my gosh, Tami, I will accept that with deep gratitude, and I appreciate that. We know each other well, so you know the vastness with which I feel like I've been. I was telling my husband this morning too, like requested by God, like truly requested. Like if I'm a big personality, but truly, like I'd be like, let's just like me in a corner doing the thing or talking, having like a women's circle every now and then. Like that's what the jam is. But I feel like I've been tasked with making big waves. And for anybody out there who's like doing sort of like rebellious work or like, fundamentally trying to shift how things work, y'all know you used the phrase like blowing into the wind. It feels like you're walking upstream. And there are days where you're like, this is bananas. Like, I'm never going to win this fight, or this is just like, why is it worth it? I can guarantee you it's worth it. I'm going to cry. Guarantee you it's worth it. Like, the work you're doing to like welcome people in, or the work that you're doing to make something accessible, like it's totally worth it. And I can see, I've been in business now for 10 years and I've been in the bra industry for 19 years. I know I look younger, y'all, but I'm 39. So the thing is, I can see in certain people that I know changes that have happened in their life. But the coolest thing is seeing it in people I love. So, for example, uh, my niece, who I don't know if she's gonna be watching this. She's on Instagram now. She's 15. But my niece, I remember when I first started my business, I was 5. I was 5. She was 5 years old, and I remember her coming to me and having a really strong negative message about her body at 5. Which is not anyone's fault. That's just how we learn, is, to talk about our bodies. And I thought, whoa, like, what is that? And she's now 15, and I just went bra shopping with her and her mom. And it was so profound to see both her struggles, because let's be real, she still has those, but to see her openness of like learning a different way to look at it, a different way to look at her body, a different way to like address it. And I'm like, oh man, like this is so good. And even today I got somebody messaging me saying, this was someone who was born male, who is wearing bras and didn't know where to look for help, and found my information and literally said that they deal with depression and that my work has saved them. Now, I don't take that very lightly. That's a big, profound thing to say. And I'm sure there are many other factors that helped this person. And if I could be one of 1,000 things in the process of supporting this person to feel like they belong here and they have support and they're not alone and it's okay to be who they are, like, hallelujah and hooray. Like, that's all we can do, right? So my tool happens to be bras, right? But anybody out there that's like doing this kind of work, like, please know these conversations like absolutely matter. The work you're doing matters like 100%. I kind of got off topic there, but I do want to say, like, the vastness of what we're doing is not. And Tami, the same extends to you. Like, I hope you can see, and I know you do. I know you see this. I know you can see the lives that you are changing, and then by extension, who I get to change their lives at the things that you host. So it's all good. It's so good.
Well, thank you. Let's end with this. I think when people listen to you, myself included, it's a sigh of relief to hear that even you have those voices in your head at times. And the way that we talk to ourselves is universal. And you said, like, it's not our fault. It's nobody's fault. I mean, I could probably write a little book about whose fault it is. Not necessarily just a person, but the multiple factors. But
sure.
Aside from that, not everybody has an
write
Aunt
it,
Kim.
write it, by the way.
Not everybody has an Aunt Kimmay in the dressing room. Not
Sure.
everyone's
Fair.
Not everybody has this wisdom that you have accumulated as a result of the experiences that you've had, as well as who you are. And they'll hopefully come to your workshop at Rise Day and have a 2-hour transformational experience with all kinds of modalities to get them there. But how about just, what is something that you think is helpful for people when it comes to softening into self-love, into thinking about the way that we talk to ourselves, that goes beyond affirmation, that goes beyond what you were speaking about before, as if we could flip a switch and our bodies wouldn't be like, you don't really think that. So I'm kind of putting you on the spot, because
I love it.
if you have this answer, you also should be writing the book, and I look forward to that. But just a little nugget that people might take with them today into their day.
We will read each other's books soon enough, I'm sure. So in the meantime, you're right. I am not excluded from these thoughts, right? And I, not only when I was, 10 years ago had these thoughts, but I admitted to offline just the other day. I woke up at 2:30 with this swirling story of, I've made terrible decisions and I got myself in over my head in something. And I remember literally saying to myself, God, you're such an idiot. And I just remember catching myself in that moment, whereas before I wouldn't. So there's like this time between the self-loathing and the catching of like, whoa, wait a minute, is that really true? Do I know that to be my friend Terry, who is a great mentor from Terry Hofford, who's hosts Body Image Boot Camp. She's also a phenomenal photographer, and she's doing phenomenal work with body image. But she uses this funny voice when she asks herself these questions, and she goes, "Is that 100% true? Like, do you know for 100% true that you're an idiot? Like all the time?" Because we think of it as permanent and pervasive when we have these thoughts. I'm always an idiot. I always will be an idiot. And so now my time between the self-loathing and the like, whoa, wait a minute, is shorter. And that comes with practice. That also comes from in the workshop, I'm going to teach this thing that I teach with my coaching clients called ERC, which is a process of really examining like what is it that you want to let go of or eliminate. So it's eliminate, replace, and celebrate. And then replacing it with the truth, what you know to be true. That's where the affirmations can come in. And then celebrating, having gratitude for yourself. It's a really simple process, but it requires practice, So one tip I would say is to like continuously practice being kind to yourself. Again, just like I said earlier, ask yourself, would I say this to my best friend? And how would my best friend react? Because that's how yourself or your body is probably reacting. So like, how would you talk to your best friend? What would you say to someone you really care about? What would you say to your kid? How would you talk to your child if they came to you with the same, like, God, I'm such an idiot? Would you be like, yeah, you're an idiot and you probably should go in the corner and sit there forever? No, you'd be like, hey, well, hold on. That wasn't a wise thing to do. We can admit that. And you're doing your best. You're learning every day. It's really okay. I love you no matter what. Like, what a kinder way to talk to yourself. And so, so recognize that. So talk to yourself like your best friend. And then finally, I would say you do not have to do this alone. Like, you are the only person who can do this work. So it's a DIY, but it doesn't have to be a DIA. Do it alone. And so I didn't have an Aunt Kimmay, but I had mentors, I've had coaches, I have wonderful friends in my life. Like I have people I can look to. I have Tammys in my life that I can look to when I'm having those moments of like, God, I'm kind of the worst, and have them be like, whoa, wait a minute, hold on. Let's talk about this. Or can give me the tools to do it. So I coach people. We have this Rise Day coming up. You can come to that and you can get, be in a pool of people who are all committed to doing this, led by somebody who's like, I'm committed to helping you do this. So you have to do it. It can be DIA, or DIY. It doesn't have to be DIA. So that's my biggest tip.
DIY, but not DIA. Do it
Correct.
yourself, but don't do it alone.
Correct.
Beautiful. Thank you, Kimmay. Thank you, everyone who listened today. Please learn more at risegatherings.com. You can check out Rise Day on May 19th. Kimmay and I will both be there. And if you
Yep.
want to learn more from Kimmay, it's hooray.
Kimmay.com, which is HURRAYKIMMAY.com. And come over into my DMs and say hi. Let me know that you saw this, because even if you can't come to Rise Day, just say hi and let me know you learned something, or that you want to be connected, or where you can get broad information. Please just ask me. If you're interested in coaching, let me know. Happy to support you, and can't wait to see some of you on May 19th.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Kimmay.